Hi guys, this is Luke, and in this video we are going to create awesome interactive charts using the Plotly library, and of course we are going to bring it into Django. So at the end we will have a very nice Plotly Django integration visible in our web app. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright guys, so before we begin, I just want to let you know that you can find a cheat sheet of this project on my Instagram. So here it is, how to create interactive Gantt charts in Django. Let's take a look. Okay, and here are all the necessary slides that we are going to actually code in this particular tutorial. So if you appreciate this content also on Instagram, please give me a follow and leave a like. Alright guys, so I'm at plotly.com and this is the place where we are going to start our tutorial. We will soon install Plotly library and the installation process is extremely simple. But first, let's take a look at all the awesome charts that Plotly offers. So in the section basic charts, we have among others scatter plots, line charts, bar charts. In the statistical charts section, we have some box plots, histograms. Then we have the scientific charts section, financial charts section, maps, artificial intelligence and machine learning, bioinformatics, 3D charts. This is insane. And I just assume that we can integrate all these charts into Django. So I didn't try it out, but if we can integrate a Gantt chart based on Plotly, I think the other ones are also possible to integrate. So let's jump into getting started, and we need to scroll down, and basically this is the installation. We just need to run pip install Plotly. Let's do this. I'm going to quit the development server from running. Okay, so I have my own new created virtual environment, and I created a very basic project which I named Plotly Proj, and now I'm installing Plotly. So Django is already installed. Now I'm installing Plotly. Let's give it a few seconds. All right, and we will also need pandas data frame. So I'm going to run pip install pandas. All right, so now we can start the development server again, and let's jump into our project. I'm in the main project folder in the settings py file. Over here, I just created an app for this project purposes, and I named it projects. So this is the app over here. I included it into the installed apps list. And then in the templates section, I just told Django where to look for additional ones. And over here, I have base HTML, and this is a basic starter template from gitbootstrap.com version 5. I just modified it a little bit. In the body section, I added div class container with the margin top 3. And inside I placed the block content so that once index.html inherits from base HTML, we will see in a very easy way what will happen over here. This code is a little bit, let's just call it messy, or yeah, it's redundant in terms of our project. Okay, so we don't need to focus on this. Let's just focus on the block content itself. All right, so yeah, I think this is it, what I have done so far. Let's jump into the exciting part. So we will jump into our projects application directory, into the models py file, where we are going to create our project class. So over here, let's create this project class, which inherits, of course, from models.model, and we will need a few fields. So the first one is going to be the name, and this is going to be basically the name of our project, so we can simply put in models char field with max length set to 200. Then we will have the start date. When will our project start? And this is going to be a models date field. As the next step, we will have the project manager. So who is responsible for this project? And this is going to be a models foreign key, and it's going to be a foreign key to the user. So we need to bring in the user model from Django contrib auth models. We want to import the user model. All right, so let's pass it. And let's specify that on delete we will have models cascade like this. All right, so we will have the name, start date, responsible, and also let's add a week number. Maybe it's good to know what is the week number based on the start date. So at what week number will our project start? So this is going to be a models char field with the max length of 2, and I'm going to set blank is equal to true because we will override the save method in order to get this week number. All right, and finally we will have the end date, and end date is going to be also models date field. Okay, so we have everything needed in terms of fields. Now let's add a string representation method. Let's return str self name, and then as mentioned before, let's override the save method. So let's place in args and keyword args next to self, keyword args. Save args and keyword args, and here we are going to provide the logic related to setting up this week number. So first of all, I'm going to do a print, and as mentioned before, this week number is going to be calculated based on the start date. So I'm going to print self start date ISO calendar, and I'm going to save this, and we will find out what this will give us in a few seconds. First of all, we actually need to register this project in the administration. So from .models, we want to import our project, admin site register project. Okay, and now let's go to the terminal, quit the development server from running, and let's do the migrations. Python manage py make migrations, Python manage py migrate, and Python manage py run server. Okay, so first of all, we have a confirmation that the Django has been successfully installed. I got it before, once I've set up this Django project, and I already logged into the Django administration, so I also created a super user. And right now we can go to the projects. We don't have any, so let's add a particular project. I'm going to name this project mobile app. I'm going to set the start date as today. I'm going to set me as the project manager, and then I'm going to add the end date, maybe somewhere in the middle of March. I'm going to press save and continue editing, and let's go to the terminal and let's take a look at the output. So over here we have date, time, ISO calendar, okay? And then we have the year, the week, and we are interested in the week, and weekday. So let's grab the week. All right, let's grab the week. We can do it in a very easy way. we just need to grab the first element, just like this. And now if I simply save this models py file and once more press save and continue editing, there it is. Okay, there it is. This is our week number. So what we can do is to write a check if week number is equal to empty. So if the week number hasn't been set yet, we can generate it. Self week number in this case will be equal to this part over here. Let's save this. Let's press save and continue editing, and here is our week number, as you can see. So later probably we will add some more projects, but for now let's just go with the one object that we created a second ago and proceed into the views.py file. Actually, maybe let's just create the views.py file directly in our main project folder. So I'm going to put it over here, views.py, and then actually I'm going to copy this. And this isn't the only import that we actually need. We also need to grab our project model. So from projects models, we want to import project. Okay, and then we will bring in pandas. So we want to import pandas as PD like this, and then we need stuff from plotly. So from plotly offline, we want to import plot like this, plot, and then import plotly like this, express spx. Okay, so as the next step, let's write a function view, and I'm just going to call it index, which takes in a request. And first of all, we will define a query set. So this is very easy to do. Project objects all. We want to grab all the projects that are in our database, and then we need to prepare the data in a particular way. So I'm going to call this projects data is equal to, and I'm going to use list comprehension over here. So I'm going to have a dictionary which will represent an object, and I'm going to write for x in qs. Okay, so I'm going to do it like this, and inside, the first thing that I want to prepare is the project. So we are preparing now the data for our chart. All right, so a project is a very important feature because we want to have the project displayed on the y-axis. So project x name. Then we will have the start. Start is going to be x start date, actually. Start date like this. Then we will have finish. Okay, and this is going to be x and date. All right, and also we will have the responsible. So we are adding the responsible to visualize on the Gantt chart who will be responsible for what projects. So for example, if I'm the blue color, all my projects on the Gantt chart will be visible in the blue color. If you are, let's say, in green, all your projects on the Gantt chart will be visible in this particular green color. All right, so we will see how this looks like in practice once we have this Gantt chart visible in our Google Chrome or any other browser. Okay, so here we are just returning the responsible. All right, so we have the project's data prepared, and as the next step we need to put them in the data frame. So this is where pandas come to the rescue. PD data frame, and we just need to pass in the project's data. Okay, now let's use Plotly. So fig is equal to px timeline, where we are going to actually use all these data. So first of all, we need to pass in data frame. Then we need to define the x start, and here we are going to refer to the start. Then we need to define the x end, and here we are going to refer to the finish. And the y, as mentioned before, is going to be the project. So on the y-axis we will have the project, and color we will have as responsible. So we will be able to distinguish who is responsible for what project on the Gantt chart by the color. All right, so we have our fig. Now we can write fig update y-axis and then auto range reversed. And I'm going to explain this a little bit later. And finally, we can put in our Gantt plot. And this is very important because we need to use the plot from Plotly offline. Pass in the fig like this. And then we need to specify the output type. So output type in our case is going to be equal div. Okay, so now we can set up the context. So this is what we want to pass to the template. So we will pass in the Gantt plot, but let's give it a key plot div. So plot div is what we are going to use in the template, and to this key we are assigning our Gantt plot. All right, and then we need to return render, pass in the request. We have already the index.html, and we just need to pass in the context. Okay, so basically we can go ahead and save this and jump into the URLs py. So we need to also register our view in the URLs. So from .views we want to import index, and let's register it as the main view. Okay. And finally, let's save the URLs py and jump into index.html, because right now in the blog content we need to display the plot div. And let's see if this will work. Let's hit refresh. All right, so it almost did work. As you can see, we have a div with all this code. So in order to actually see the chart itself, we need to auto escape off. All right, and then over here, let's end auto escape and auto escape like this. All right, so let's see if this will help. And there it is. So here is our Gantt chart. It only consists of one project and we only have one user. So let's go to the users first. Let's add a test user. Let's provide a password. Let's save this. Let's go to projects. let's add a new project, web app, start date, responsible test user. Week number will be generated automatically. Let's say that the start date will be in March. Let's say that the start date will be in March, and then the end date may be in June. Let's save this, and then let's hit refresh. And here is the web app. Okay, so we have our projects over here. Our project, in this case, this is the project mobile app, and then we have the web app, which belongs to the test user. So I'm going to add another project, maybe Python tutorial. The start date will be in March. I'm going to be responsible, and the end date will be, let's say, somewhere in May. Let's press save, and there it is. Okay, so everything is working, and you have some options over here to play around. This is pretty cool. This is, as you can see, interactive, and yeah, it's worth exploring. All right, so let's go also to the index HTML at the very end. Let's see what will happen if I comment this out. And in this case, we have everything reversed. All right, so we've added this fig update y-axis with outer range reversed, so we will have a little bit better organization and readability, as you can see. Okay, so yeah, guys, I think this is it for this tutorial. Hope to see you guys soon. Have a great day, and bye bye.